Hi, this is Joyce, the voice of Joyce, and this is episode 43. It's inspired by my friend Bob, who'd like me to dig deeper into what is humility? How do we achieve a state of feeling humble? And is it submission? No, it's not. It's a method to look at the world differently. When we feel humble or we have humility, then we realize that we are all different and that we can acknowledge the differences in all of us and we can accept them because we've accepted ourselves. We've had the time, and we should take the time, even though we're upset and we think we're living in uncertain times. If we took a half hour out of our lives, just a half hour, and looked at ourselves and understood what makes us tick, and understood what we liked about ourselves and what we didn't, and what we'd like to improve, we could achieve a state of peace and humility. We would be able to have compassion for ourselves and compassion for others. I think that when we develop that sense of humbleness and humility, which is a really, really brave and courageous journey, we'll be able as a group to do the next right thing. We will not be passive. We will be active in writing our own history. It's important for all of us to get to this journey. If we do so, then the future is really ours. It's no longer uncertain. We can be the best we are, and we can be innovative. We can achieve whatever we desire, and we can vote and vote for people who will allow us to be the best versions of ourselves. After all, we're not so different from each other. There have always been thieves and knaves in government. It's a given. It happened back in Isaiah's time. It happened when the Constitution was written. It happened with Lincoln. All great men have suffered, and all great men have not always been great. They've looked at themselves and accepted who they are. And when they acknowledge the bad points about them and what their failings are, well, they've used it as a building block to make peace with themselves and with their God. Because really, that's all that matters. Only God can judge us. But we're not here on earth to judge each other. When we want to do the best we can, we accept ourselves and we accept others as well. And we even have, though it's tough times now, a sense of gratitude. Gratitude that we can get up in the morning. Gratitude that we may still have people we love and love us. And if not, we have gratitude for the mundane, for what we know that we have had and may have lost, but will have again. Again, in a way where we have built back a society that is more sustainable and more cherished than the one before. I know we can do it. I know that we do not have to be running and running away from ourselves, that we have the courage to be introspective, that we have the courage to start to walk on the right path. Yesterday I spoke to my grandson, and he's lucky because he said he's really pretty aware of what's good about him and what isn't. And he's constantly talking to himself so that he can improve. And you know, it makes him speak very frank, but he speaks from the heart and from a place of strength. And that's what we all need to develop. Because when we are the best versions of ourselves, we can really achieve a lot. And we can achieve it together. Then pluribus unum has meaning. Out of many comes one, because we can learn to appreciate ourselves and others. And that's the most important journey we can get. Judgment, we may have them, they don't belong. Nobody can walk in my shoes, and I can't walk in anyone else's. So, however we are, we're our own person, and it is up to each of us to develop the very best version of ourselves that we can, so that we can write our own history, that we no longer rely on others to tell us what's good for us. We've got a lot of mental problems now and a lot of economic problems. Those can be resolved, but only when we take the leap of faith in ourselves that we will resolve those problems, because we will know what's right and we will act upon what's right. It took courage for Martin Luther King. It took courage for Mahatma Ghandi, for Mandela, for Mother Theresa. A great deal of courage. Humble people all, with a sense of peace and a sense of dignity and a willingness to help their fellow man. Justice isn't for one person or one group. Justice is for all of us. As Teddy Roosevelt said, justice is equal, as it should be, and so should equal opportunity be available to all of us, so that we can achieve our highest potential. Lord knows if we don't want to be part of the sixth extinction, we got to look into our hearts and our souls during this time, because it's up to us, really, to build back better. I'm not concerned with how the long term will pan out. That's not uncertain to me. It's the short term I worry about. I worry about all of us. After all, nobody loves money and wealth as much as the wealthy, except, and it's a big exception, the poor love it too. And everyone needs a piece of the pie. It's time for Main Street to be taken seriously and to be acknowledged that we are people and we deserve to reach our potential also. Make no mistake about it. When you have faith in yourself and you have a feeling of peace with who you are, you really can move mountains. I know. I never thought that I would be speaking to so many of you, and I am. And I've had a long, long journey. Not easy at all. My foreman, my old foreman, about 25 or more years ago, used to say to me, if I didn't have bad luck, I didn't have any luck at all. So that's what happens in life. Sometimes the times are good, sometimes they're not. What's important is that we learn. And we try very hard not to repeat the old mistakes. And we move on. And we move on with grace. And we find beauty in our world while we still find beauty in ourselves and others. Because we're not an island. No man is. That's Hemingway. No man is an island. And we're all connected. Every one of us. That's why it's so important that we all come together. When we have rapid tests, it's not just for the wealthy, it's for all of us globally. When we have a vaccine, it's not just for Americans, it's for all of us globally. And so we must learn to accept everyone. There is no lowliest among us. We're all human. We all have human traits. Acknowledge them. Don't bury them. And if you don't like some of it, well, don't dwell in them. Dwell on the positives. It's the positives that will bring us peace, that will help us to do what is right. God bless you all. Thank you for listening. And if you want, get in touch with me at thevoiceofjoyce@earthlink.net. See you next week. Our future is absolutely not uncertain. The present, hey, we're going to have to work very hard together so that we can overcome whatever societal problems we have. But we can do it if we walk with love in our heart. We can do it. I have no doubt about that. So God bless you. See you next week. You can bet on it.